Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Yes, indeed, continuing our focus here today. Well, now we're joined by Mr. George Eke, who is also a legal practitioner and a member of the PDP. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you so much.
Well, in terms of performance and expectation of this government, yes, they've clearly told us, look, that document, yes, it may have been circulating, but fortunately, it's a wrong document. And so people should just forget about that document, focus on their manifesto, and let's look at what they said they were going to achieve on their manifesto and give them 4 years to assess them.
Well, first and foremost, let's stop making this document so controversial, because the document is just all over the place. Because I listened to the last guest when he said he had not seen it. I also listened to the public secretary of APC yesterday, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, when he said a number of people post all manners of documents, you know, in support of the APC. But this is a document that belongs to the APC. As a matter of fact, while I was in the waiting room, you know, I just had to Google the document, and I read part of it. The document was signed off by Buhari. Signed off by Buhari in the sense that he was even relating his experience in his campaign tours. And there are two of them. One says, my covenant with the Nigerian people. Another says, the 100 things that Buhari will do in 100 days. There are two documents. And they're all over the place. As a matter of fact, I mean, all you need to do is for every Nigerian to just Google Buhari 100 days, and you get the documents. Reactions, I mean, is a full document. I mean, that's not what we waste our time on this program on. It is available for Nigerians. And I can tell you a lot of Nigerians voted for the APC based on those documents, because it was a passionate appeal that he made to Nigerians, itemizing in all sectors of the economy, in all sectors of of governance, what he plans to do, what he plans to achieve. And they look quite believable. Indeed, we can even go beyond that too, talking about those ones that they said on the soapbox, that is to say, at the rallies. Some of them that were unrealistic, of course, you know, having to feed all Nigerian children per day, you know, having to bring dollar to some unrealistic levels and all of that. Some people are still holding them to that, but I don't hold that against them, because, you know, those are things that you say at the spur of the moment, while the music is taking place, I mean, it's going on and the dancing is taking place at the rostrum, you can say most of those things. But you see, these are documents that are, as a matter of fact, posted on the internet, distributed to Nigerians, and they voted them on that. If they are disowning those documents, let them now come. But the important thing is that, without doubt, APC is overwhelmed with governance. They are overwhelmed. They just don't know where to start from. It is so obvious.
Can we say they're
overwhelmed? So we can forgive them.
Yeah, but can we come to that conclusion in just 3 months?
Chamberlain, almost everybody, even at the level of states, celebrates 100 days in office. Indeed, every politician looks forward to that, in the sense that you are trying to give a report card of what I've been able to do in these 100 days. It's a tradition in politics, almost. It's a convention. But by the time the former governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, now said the Nigerians should give the government some time. Indeed, he referred to it as some honeymoon. That was the first salvo that came in this direction, before the complete denial that was made by Lai Mohammed. I think it was yesterday. And now, the fact that the gentleman who just spoke before me now is talking about not having seen the document, indeed disowning the document as some fake document. A document that you benefited from cannot be a fake document.
How? What do you mean? Even if they said, look, it didn't emanate from us.
No, the document did not get on the internet yesterday. Those who distributed them before the election. As a matter of fact, during campaign rallies. And they were not denied. They were not disowned. Now it is report cards period. And we are saying, let us find out of all you said you are supposed to do in 100 days, which of them have you been able to do? I saw him battling with difficulty, you know, to say what the administration has been able to do. They have been able to give Nigeria some confidence at the international level. How can you quantify that?
But he also did say that, the president now, that, look, the ministers will come on board.
Yes.
And when they do come on board, they will, of course, drive the administration's policies.
That is a
Shouldn't we wait
a,
until
that is a tacit admission of we did not do anything in 100 days.
Well, you know, I'm looking at...
And I want them to own up. That's we have already forgiven them for not doing anything. Because the truth of the matter is that nothing has been... In short, in fairness to General Buhari, maybe his personality, the fact that he is sitting right there, has sent a lot of jitters around. I tell you something. You notice that the refineries suddenly started working. General Buhari did not award any contract in turnaround maintenance.
No, but they said it was awarded previously, before he came on board.
Good. Those are the refineries had already been repaired by Jonathan, but they were not working. Buhari appears. First thing he did was probably chase away all those. You notice at that point in time when those ships were hovering around our territorial waters, those by our own understanding were those ships that were apparently stealing our oil, or at least doing the oil swap that we now know that is a big saga. The moment there were no places to take the oil, they simply took the oils back to the refineries, and the refineries started working. This is his personality. So I agree with that. But what I don't want them to appropriate to themselves is a situation where that some stable power supply. These are things that now APC is asking Nigerians for some patience. You know, give us some time, understand us, and all of that. This was exactly what Jonathan was asking. I have a power roadmap that I put in place. In a couple of months, you'll begin to see some stability in power supply. Nigeria said, we don't have time to wait. We don't have any patience.
Having waited previously, perhaps.
Our patience has run out. We have waited for 6
which are the patience? Okay, then.
No, that's what we have been told then. Our patience has run out. 6 months, 6 years. And you are asking for more time. And Jonathan kept pleading that in a couple of months you will see the stability of power. And that is what we have seen today. But APC has appropriated it, that it belongs to them. Meanwhile, they did not lift a finger in that regard.
But the thing is...
Did they appropriate it?
Oh, sure, they have always been saying that. Haven't you seen that power has stabilized? It is courtesy of APC. That's what and these are people who have been sleeping all this while.
I read today, though, that part of the reasons is that no gas pipeline vandalism has gone on, and so there's a lot of gas supply also making, so that seems
that's also an attempt to see to what extent they can appropriate that. But that's
the issue of power.
Yes,
we can start to talk about power improvement when we're in December, because I've been in this country. Every time it rains, there's always a significant improvement in power supply. It's moving forward, talking about what we expect to see from this particular government. It would seem as if 3 months is too short a time for us to start asking the questions about the first 100 days. Now that the party has gone on to say, well, they never brought out that document. If you go back to the president's speech at Chatham House, I recall he also made some kind of reference to that first 100 days, when he said he wouldn't want to go with the tradition of first 100 days because of the enormity of things to be fixed in the country. Looking at what we were trying to ask our last guest, the APC, Mr. Obla, would it be right for anyone to base his comments on what, for instance, the question now were posed? Because by now, loads and loads of Nigerians would have thought that there is some kind of direction. Do you see any kind of direction of this administration in any of our national life, like the fighting corruption, which is paramount or key?
Okay. Well, you see, every administration yearns for constructive criticism. Indeed, they claim they welcome it. Let me try as much as possible to see to what extent I can give a constructive criticism coming from PDP. And of course, you know, now PDP is the most reasonable place to be, because those who are of stomach infrastructure, they have all vanished into APC. So the APC is now an admixture of all manners of persons and all of that. There is sanity in PDP. So we can see clearly. Let me tell you. Yeah, sure, because that is the most reasonable place to be now is in PDP, because the stomach infrastructure people have all left.
It wasn't so before.
Oh, no, well, that's the problem we had at that point in time. So that problem has been, APC has inherited those problems, you know, without knowing it. While they were applauding the entry of a number of people and all of that, they didn't know they were inheriting the problem. And that is part of why they are having problems, to such an extent that they are even opposing themselves, you know, because they know opposition modern governance. So that is why when we even gave them governance, they started opposing themselves. Until today, they are still opposing themselves. But that is a matter for another day. But back to the question you asked me with regard to the focus of the government. If this document is denied, let it be denied. Let's judge them on their manifesto. Which part of their manifesto have they been able to at least scratch by way of giving us a vision, a focus with regard to this is where we are going to? And what we're not doing is that let us wait until the ministers are appointed. The person who is going to appoint the ministers is the person who is going to give the direction. The party that is going to appoint the ministers is the party that has the vision. And the ministers are going to key into a vision that is already there. So what is that vision? What is the mission statement? What is the vision? What is the focus? Nobody knows.
You don't
except APC.
You don't think it's marshaled and highlighted?
No, the only thing that we know now is all the noise about anti-corruption. And I keep asking myself, is the presidency a department of the EFCC? Because figures are flying all over the place. Some are coming from Abuja, others are coming from Benin. Everybody has his own figure with regard to how much was looted and how much is supposed to be recovered. And what they are now saying that they did not know that the rot, sure that's their word, that the rot that was left by APC is so, by PDP, is so humongous that they need to clean the audience table. And we're saying, at the point in time when you were campaigning, you said you knew. Even when we were saying the economy was good, and you said no, that our figures were bad, that you knew the alternative, and that the alternative figures were that the economy was bad. So you knew everything. So you cannot come now and say that you are surprised at what you made. You couldn't have made anything different from what you were telling people that was as bad as why you wanted to come in. And I had Lai Mohammed, the publicity secretary of APC, talking about some huge documents that were given to them as handover, 24,000 pages and all of that. If PDP was able to generate 24,000 pages of handover notes, what people normally complain about is that the document given to us is so terse, we can't make anything out of it. It doesn't have any details. Here is a situation where he's complaining about the opposite, that it is so detailed. And even though he said it was written in such a manner that they can't decipher anything, I don't think it was written in hieroglyphic. It was in English. And if the PDP is able to do 24,000 pages in that short period of handover, why is it taking APC so much time to read what has been written? You and I know that it is more difficult to write than to read.